Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat.
Well, it is my pleasure to introduce Julie Kenzler. Julie is the expert on hope following the hard things we face. She is a best-selling author, international broadcaster, and podcaster. Julie is passionate about equipping people to move from struggles to hope in any season of life we are walking in. As an avid hiker, Julie not only works to stay fit and healthy, but she also faces challenges that force her to stay the course and move beyond obstacles. She loves making memories with her family and friends. Julie is a steadfast follower of Jesus Christ and can't even imagine life without him as her rock. Julie is going to be speaking to us about hope following. So please, everyone, help me welcome Julie Kenzler.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. That was such a lovely introduction. Thank you.
Well, you are an incredible person. I have a special place in my heart for my authors and the Lemonade Stand, and you being one of them. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you when you just come together and you connect and you share and just make this beautiful experience happen through the book. It's just amazing.
Well, thank you. And not to mention just your mentorship and just the whole sisterhood and brotherhood, because we did have one guy in our book, but just the journey. And then speaking of the media boot camp, being roommates, and we had so much fun.
Yeah, that was great, and I started wrapping that into the whole package with the lemonade stand because I think learning how to promote, do the whole media process, because if you don't get the exposure, whatever it is you're doing, nobody knows if you don't have exposure, right? For instance, you do a number of things that you need to put yourself out there all the time. You have a book, Hope Follows. The thing about a book, it's a never-ending thing. You don't just write it and then that's it. It's done. It's a living, breathing thing that continues to be a timeless, wonderful thing for people. So you've got your book, you've got the lemonade stand, you've got your broadcasting. All of that, you need to continue to market and get exposure. So that's why I want everybody to understand, how do I market myself? How do I put myself out there again? So I hope you got some of that great stuff out of the boot camp. And,
Oh, I did. So much knowledge, and I have notes, and I look forward to organizing my life to where I can really put in more full-time effort into that.
Yeah. Well, you've been on fire. You've really been on fire because I follow you on Facebook and, I see all of the things that you're getting involved with and the different speaking opportunities. And so I just really have to commend you for, again, taking the effort. It'd be a lot easier to sit back and do nothing, right?
Yeah, and that's just not going to happen. Thank you for saying that, Michelle. Thanks for all that you do and for this beautiful summit and this day. This is going to be really special.
Yeah, well, thank you. Anyway, you have some great, well, we have more than one story. So I won't say you have a great story because we all have way more than one story. Sort of the basis of your broadcasting, the book that you wrote, Hope Follows, all of that really revolves around having lost your sister to a drunk driver. I think there were a lot of levels that came out of the situation. It was looking at you after a hard time, I mean, grief is tough. Grief
Yeah.
is very, very tough. But you manage to look at it in some different and positive ways. And that's where the hope comes in, because hope will always be there. I could just keep talking, but I really want to hear from you. So just gonna stay. I'm gonna be quiet and let you talk about what hope follows means to you.
Yes. Well, hope follows. I mean, it's two simple words, hope and follows. It's really basic. It's that hope can follow any hard thing you go through. And that's where I first felt that hope myself. I had to do some work, some grief recovery work, grief healing. And then I had rediscovered hope again. It was just a beautiful experience, even in such a tragic time. Losing my beautiful sister Tammy, we're coming up on 10 years in November. And it just,
Wow.
yeah, it's just so, it's still very hard, still very sad. But I didn't ever want to stay stuck in my grief. I didn't want to roll over and quit on life.
Right.
Yeah, in the beginning, I kind of felt that way, but I knew, being a mom of 4 kids, a wife, I couldn't do that. I needed to move on. You know, people say move on with your life, but I didn't like that. And so I did the work, what I needed to do. I went to a counselor for a couple of years. I went to grief support groups for 2 16-week sessions. I read a lot, started journaling, blogging, and then that's how it became a book. And so, because I felt that hope again after that really hard time, I just wanted people to feel that and to know that. And that's why the blogging started. And God would just give me out. I mean, I would literally be at a grocery store and see something, and I would get this inspiration for, oh, I have a good object, like I have a good lesson, a word picture
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
help someone who is feeling isolated or who's feeling lonely. And so that's how my blogs kind of got established. So it was in the beginning about grief, hope follows grief, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, you talked about you were on an event that I watched you present, and you did a fabulous job. You used the different seasons, the 4 seasons that we go through, to talk kind about the process, I guess, of grief. Can you give a synopsis of that? Because it was really fantastic.
Okay. Well, there's the season of summer. I mean, it's such a fun time for us. It's a fun experience. Everything is joyful. I mean, you can just remember back to your childhood and you were out of school, and just remembering that moment, you're just really feeling alive, even in this hard time. You still have like this parallel feeling and these emotions, and you're making things happen, and you're productive. And then you move into fall, and fall is when things are, you look outside, and the colors are changing, and it's beautiful. The colors are vibrant. We love those colors, but things are really dying. I mean, things are starting to go down, whether it's, again, grief or whatever the hard thing is that you're facing. Things are shifting, things are changing, and it's not feeling comfortable. It's feeling really uncomfortable. And you're starting to think, do I need to do something about this? What do I do? And then you get into that winter time. And that winter time is when things are barren. And I always think of a woman who can't have a child.
Yeah.
A barren time for us is in our life is like a complete job loss. For whatever reason, definitely losing a loved one, a friend. That is, winter is such a cold, just a hard time for our lives, that season. But again, in that time, you have to find your support group. You've got to find people who will carry you through, because in the summer and the fall, we can kind of make do. But when it's a winter time in our lives, we can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And then, yes, and then you get into that springtime, and that's when things are coming alive. And that's when I first realized, wow, I'm getting this new hope, this new joy in my life. And that's when you get the good news from the doctor after there was that horrible report of maybe a cancer that was found, and you've gone through all the procedures and the chemotherapy, and you've got that clean report that everything is great. The new job that you just were offered, the new neighbor that came into your life, and you were grieving the loss of someone who was there for 30 years, the new child that's come into your family. I mean, there's just so many
Yeah.
things that spring represents, that newness. And I know a lot of people love butterflies, and butterfly represents new life. And you have that caterpillar that's in the little, I know they say different names. It's not the
Cocoon.
chrysalis, it's the other one. Um, but I was at a counseling office once, and she had this gorgeous display, beautiful, huge, and it was a butterfly. And on one side, it was really like black gems, gray, really drab and boring colors. And it just transitioned to this colorful blues, yellows, oranges, reds, greens, all on this side. And it just showed that transformation when we're
Wow.
in those really hard, difficult times in our life. It looks ugly, it feels ugly, but you just stay strong, you do the work to get through it to the other side, and you'll transform into something so incredibly unrecognizable. And that's what God can do.
Yeah. Yes, and thank you for sharing all that, because I'm a very visual person. So even though you with the spoken word, it helped me have a visual too, as you can really see that drabness, and really experience the vibrant new colors and all of that. But hope fall is really just another way of saying turning lemon to lemonade. Right? It's
Absolutely.
really the same language, but what I love about that language is the idea of hope, and that the idea of hope will come. Because if someone is going through the lemons in their life, they're just entering into the winter, they need to know that hope will come.
Mhm.
And I think oftentimes with suicide,
Mhm.
that's a missing piece too. They can't wrap their mind around the fact that hope will come.
Right.
Life will be good again, because you get stuck in that winter, and
Yeah.
you can't see the spring. And my message is all about, look, turn it into the lemonade. And your message is, you know what? That lemonade's gonna come. Don't worry, it's gonna come. Yeah, you got to do the work too, but it's gonna come. And hope is just a beautiful, powerful word. And you also have a broadcast station, so you're out there talking to people every day. What does that do for you?
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. And today after this, I'm going to interview to my studio, and I'm interviewing a wonderful, beautiful lady who has cerebral palsy. And what this woman has done in her life is so fantastic. And so I look for, and now people are coming to me, people who have had very hard stories, very tough stories. And I am sharing them on my show. It's on the Holy Spirit Broadcasting Network, and it's all over the world. But it is a great opportunity for these people to share their hard stories, just like sharing their lemon that turned into lemonade. It's such a liberating feeling for them to share that. It's good and healthy for them. It is absolutely fantastic to see how there's connections made. I mean, who knows what country someone is in, and they're watching something about experiencing abuse of some kind, and they're watching this person, this guest on my show, share their story and how God brought them through it, how God helped them heal and work through forgiveness. And it's just incredible. And then just to be able to have like that nice log that I have of all these episodes, whether it's live watching it on television with Hope Follows on HSBN, or it's even on Spotify, I just want people to be encouraged. I want them to see that someone else has gone through this really horrific thing I'm dealing with. And I don't want them to stay stuck. I want them to drink that lemonade, Michelle. I just feel so empowered, so energized. And I'm just so grateful that God has given me that platform.
Yeah.
And I don't take it lightly. It's a lot of work. I'm a teacher full time, but I'm just excited for what is next.
Well, you always ooze enthusiasm. That's one of the really beautiful things about you. You create this aura of hope, and you kind of carry it with you because it is a passion. Because you're true to who you are always talking about it. I mean, it sort of becomes your language,
Yep.
your daily language, talking to people, and I think that's a great gift.
That's so true. And just like lemons and lemonade, it is your language. I mean, it's obviously it's your motto, it's your theme, it's your brand, which is what Hope Follows is. And I love what your previous guest just shared about reframing
Yeah,
the things that we say. And I mean, it could be us at Disneyland and we couldn't get into a ride, or something happened. And out of my mouth always comes, Hope follows. We'll find something to do, because it's just something ingrained in me now. And I'm training my family to say that.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's a great message, and for your kid to understand that too, because I think this is a hard world to be a young person in right now, and so I think that's very powerful, very positive messaging. There's hope. Don't ever let anything bog you down, because there's always hope. It's going to be there for you. I think that's great for your kids. So I want to share a little bit just about your lifestyle too. You're another
Oh,
Arizonan that I know.
yeah.
And yes, and you love the hiking life and being out in it. You take full advantage of everything the state has to offer. And I think helps keep you very family centered too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I love to do, I do have a story. I do. I love to hike with my family. The funny thing is, some of them like to hike with me, some of them don't, uh, because they never know what I'm going to take them, where I'm going to take
Oh,
them. But I have one of my sons, my youngest Evan, and my oldest son Jack, and his wife Alex. The three of us with one of the boys' friends. We went and hiked Mount Humphrey here in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's
beautiful.
12,000 feet up. So you're
Yeah.
hiking about 3,500 feet. And we were caught in the most horrific thunderstorm. Talking about thunder over there, lightning. It felt like it was right behind us. Hail. I'm training to hike the Grand Canyon, and I thought I had everything with me, but flash flood, hail, lightning, and thunder. It was so scary. But going through that, and I did say Hope follows a lot on that trail. And I prayed for 2.5 hours straight. And you wonder, okay, am I gonna make it through this? But my boys and my daughter-in-law and the friend, we have bonded. It was
Mhm.
hard. It was scary. But wow, did we bond.
Yeah.
And it's just like we just have this feeling of accomplishment, like someone who's going skydiving. I mean, it's just such a natural high when you get out there, get outdoors, and just appreciate what's around you.
Yeah. Yeah. I did Mount Humphreys once with my sister, and it was one of the most liberating experiences I think I've
You
ever had.
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Beautiful. Fortunately we didn't get, a thunderstorm. But here's the thing is that you can be doing something like so innocent in your life as you're hiking, but the reality is, and this living in Arizona, I mean, it can happen. Something could have
absolutely.
happened in that storm.
I know. I know.
And that moment might have been lost. So I think it's not only hope follows, but I think what's important is always to remember to embrace every moment that we can, what we have. And so when you were bonding in that sort of like scary thing, it was probably somewhere in the back of your mind, something could happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole time. Oh, for sure. Yep. We definitely thought that. And we were able to text some people to ask for prayer. And I mean, a couple of times we felt like just sitting down and just giving up
Yeah.
and just letting the storm take us wherever it takes us. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's such a word picture because sometimes we do need to sit in the storm. We need to just sit there and be present. And if you're someone who's of faith, reach out, sit with God and just be present. For me, when I lost my sister, I remember dropping my kids off at school and I would listen to this list of songs that would make me cry, offer me hope and healing, and give me inspiration. And I would literally lay my head on the couch and just cry and hyperventilate type crying, and just pictured that this is the couch, this is my head, that I was laying my head on Jesus's lap. And I just felt that comfort, like a little girl who has just hurt herself and she's laying in mommy or daddy's lap. That's how I
You just
felt.
need to be held. Yeah.
Yeah. So in
Yeah.
the storm, I needed to just sit. And sometimes you just go and you just fight through it. You squeeze that lemonade, the lemons out, get that sugar in there, mix it all up, add ice.
Well, we're dancing today. We're doing
Yes.
the salsa. We're doing, tap dancing. You name it. We're doing it today, and taking positive, proactive opportunities to really turn our lives around and help others as well. I'm all about lifting people up. You lift me up all the time, because you truly do. You do have that great message. And so keep doing what you're doing because you're helping more people than you know. Because that's a horrific thing. Uh, Not to single it out. I mean, life has all kinds of different tragedies, but death is such a finality. It's such a hard thing to deal with. I think it's a little harder to come out of. Actually, this is the anniversary. This is the 55th anniversary of losing my oldest sister. So today is a very special day for me. She was 18 years old. She died from an illness. So, I mean, things happen. But yeah, isn't it amazing? 10 years later, where you still feel that. I don't feel the wound so much as I just love to go back to the memories and just sometimes ponder what if, the what if, but in a very positive way. Wonder what she would have done with her life. I think she would have done some amazing things. So, Kim, I know you're up there, shining your light down on me. So I just wanted to make mention of that because it's a hard place to come back from and bounce back from, but hope does follow. And I've certainly been able to see that come into my life plenty of times. What's next up for you?
I definitely am working on creating some courses in finding hope. And so I'm working on that. Yeah, I'm going to have 3 different modules and have that come out. It's going to be super simple, just video led, and allow people access to me once they buy it. So I'll be working on creating that and then marketing it. Thankfully, I have a son who's really talented with marketing. Just like you have a talented daughter who's helping you with your whole entire business. And
keeping it all in the family. That's right.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I look forward to I would love to travel and be able to share this message somehow. So I'm just waiting with hopeful expectancy. But I'm also enjoying where I'm at right now. I have my mom is elderly, and so I'm trying to spend a little more time with her and doing that and just embracing where I am right now with my kids and their lives, traveling up to northern Flagstaff, Arizona more.
Yeah. Well, you just bought a house there.
Yeah.
Sure. So you've got a second home to be able to get to. And if you know Arizona, then you know how important it is to have that place to escape to, especially in the summer.
Absolutely. Yes.
Julie, you're a delight. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing and being vulnerable enough to share your story. I do so much appreciate that. And appreciate all you viewers for listening in to another episode of Lemonade Life Podcast, Dancing with Lemon. We've just finished our dance with Julie Kenzler. Go check out her book, Hope Follows, and look her up, watch some of her broadcasts, and enjoy what she has to say, because she's got a very important message. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Michelle, thank you for having me.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat.